Hi there, I'm TJ. I am a film student and I'm currently in my second year, so I still have 2 years to go. If you want to know a little bit more about me, then stick till the end. But first, let's talk about something that might actually be useful to you. A lot of people ask themselves and others, do I have to go to film school? And the answer is no, you really don't. There's a lot of information online. You can reach whoever you want, online again. Also, gear has become so cheap, so basically anyone can start filming and learning right away. But let's get back on track. Another reason you don't have to go to film school is that no one asks which school you went to. It doesn't really matter how you got really good, it just matters that you're really good. So it's clear that filmmaking is not a necessity. You don't have to go to film school. When you ask yourself, should I go to film school? Well, then the answer becomes a little more complicated. Like with everything, there are pros and cons. So let's talk about them. First, let's talk about some pros. When you go to film school, you get pushed to make things. You get pushed to not watch Netflix all day, you get pushed to not lay in your bed all day. While those may be the same thing for some of us. When you have a motivational problem, then school really is the answer. Your education costs a lot of money, so you better do everything you can to accomplish your goals. When you're really motivated to make movies, to learn new things, and to study things that might not interest you that much, but are important, well, then you may not need film school at all. Another pro is the community. You're working with other students who are interested in the same thing as you, which is great. And they're all going to want to become directors, lighters, DPs, you know? Also, your teachers might be really experienced in what they're doing, hopefully. And in general, you just get to know a lot of people. You're building your network. And if you're not in film school, that might be a really hard thing for you. The next pro is that you get a hands-on experience on set, maybe, with a large crew. Again, maybe. But those things are just so important and you learn so much from them. It will be quite a bit harder to experience that right away when you're not in film school. You'll also get a hands-on with professional gear that way, which probably is just too expensive if you're not in film school. And the last pro I can think about is that you get resources. You'll probably lend filmmaking gear at your school for much less money than it would cost you at rental places, for instance. As I said before, getting experience with professional gear and not only work with $200 LED lights might be good for you. Also, in our school we have a couple of film studios which we can use whenever we want. That is a big plus for me, as renting studios costs, it's expensive. I'll put this away now. Then we'll move on to the cons.
No. Wait a second. Random montage. Okay, now we can go back.
Then we'll move on to the cons. And for me, the first one is that it's harder to develop your style, because you can't really choose what you make. You really need to create what the teachers say you have to create. And in some schools, they give you a lot of room to do what you want. But in other schools, I think like mine, it's harder to express what you want. Then there's always a con that it might be hard to find a job and that your parents say that you should study something that will give you security for a job, security for money. And while that might be the smart choice, life isn't always about being smart. It's about living your life. So if you really know what you want to do, then maybe you just got to go for it. And then the biggest con is probably the cost. Especially in the United States, film schools are just crazy expensive. Actually, a lot of higher studies are really expensive there. Compared to the United States, we in Belgium and in Europe, we can't really complain. Now, I'm not saying that it's not a lot of money, it sure is, but there's a big difference. Here in Belgium, film school doesn't actually cost that much more. It's just the rental costs, the gear costs that drive the price up a bit. So I would say if you live in Belgium or countries like Belgium, go for it. But if you live in the United States, the choice becomes a bit harder. So you should take these pros and cons into consideration and make your choice. It really depends on who you are. I hope this helped you. Now, as promised, I'm gonna talk a bit about myself. Please don't leave. I live in Belgium, you know, with the shithole Brussels. I am 19 years old, and as I said, I'm in my second year of film school. I love music, I love technology, and I have a big passion for filmmaking. Also, I must have rebranded this YouTube channel like 5 times now, so I really hope this one sticks. I really think this is what I want to do. What is this? I am going to make tutorials about filmmaking, and I'm going to share my life as a film student. So if you're not sure about going to film school, you can follow me and follow what it's like. Also, along the way, you will be able to learn some stuff already. Anyway, that is what you can expect from me. If you like the idea, then please consider subscribing. I think this will be quite an exciting adventure, and I would like to take you with me. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Bye bye.